Brady Corbet's The Brutalist is an ode to the quiet war waged every day between artistic genius and the economic systems trying to contain it. I'm Jeremy Joseph Leal from jeremyjosephleal.com, Substack, YouTube, and Medium. Um, at its core, this isn't just a movie about an architect, it's a movie that's by one. Um, Brady Corbet builds like an architect, he designs like one, and he fights the same fight. He's defending meaning, beauty, and soul against a bottom line that understands none of that. Um, this is what makes The Brutalist a real treat. Um, Corbet and Laszlo are both visionary builders. They speak the language of meaning to people who only understand money. Whether it's cultural center or a film like The Brutalist, they're pitching art to people who want ROI. They're speaking poetry to spreadsheets, and the film makes this explicit. That's what I really liked about it. It's a struggle that I can relate to, and I think some of us are all affected by it. Um, Whether it's what we watch, what we create ourselves, and all the restrictions that come with it based on lack of resources, and then the sacrifices you have to make to get those resources. So, also, first of all, yes, it's a long movie. Um, I'm of the opinion that when something's this good, why would you want less of it? So complaining about long movies when we binge entire seasons of TV in one sitting um, doesn't make any sense to me. The Brutalist earns every minute of of its length, and if you need to pause it, do it. It's a feature. It's not a flaw, in my opinion. The film opens with an image that says it all. The Statue of Liberty. It's satanic and it's upside down. And they look up at it as they approach entry into the US. But this isn't really the American dream, it's the American nightmare from the start. Corbet flips it, um, the mythos on its head, quite literally, with the Statue of Liberty. The film shows how the country slowly drains the soul from people like Laszlo, um, with false promises and financial machinery. One of the most symbolic exchanges happens when Laszlo visits Attila's shop called Miller and Sons. Attila is Laszlo's cousin who already lives in America. He picks him up from the train and gives him a place to stay when Laszlo first arrives. But Attila has reinvented himself, because the truth, in his opinion, won't sell in America. It's not Molnar anymore. His name, he's Miller, and it's also a representation of Hungary gets erased in favor of America, and the scene becomes a microcosm of the entire immigrant experience. The cost of assimilation, the loneliness of reinvention, the transactional nature of the so-called American dream. Beneath it is a deeper tragedy. His real story, the one that he's buried, is likely far more compelling and human than the fiction that he crafted. But it doesn't matter um, to him. What matters is the appearance of lineage, the illusion of legacy. Um, it's supposedly a marketable myth for him, um, but it's kind of in itself a darkly humorous and comedic realization that uh, that his true story is probably more marketable and interesting, um, than the one that he made up. This is why Laszlo is so strong and powerful in the story, because he stays true to who he is and his story sells. Um, the single interaction, quiet and even humorous on the surface, is funny, I mentioned, but it's brutal too, um, in what it reveals. Another one of the film's most quietly profound moments happens when they're in the food line. Gordon is holding his son, and Laszlo is standing behind them. The boy begins a game of I Spy, pointing to Laszlo's jacket and saying something blue from a glance. The jacket looks gray though. Um, so Laszlo says, he smiles and he says, "You're clever. There is a little bit of blue in it." And Laszlo sees the world through this nuance. Um, shadow, layered, nuanced beauty. He doesn't see in binaries, he sees in gradient, in complexity, and in softness. That view carries directly into his architectural philosophy. Um, Later, he's pitching his vision for the community center. Leslie and the contractor insists on using silicaga marble shipped from Talladega. Um, it's white like a sheet of paper, Laszlo says. It's clean, unblemished material, perfect for statements of control, purity, and prestige. But um, so Laszlo pushes back. What I have here is blue and gray with softer veining, he says, describing his preferred use of concrete. It's more textured, more complex, more human. Um, and then even after Harrison sides with Leslie and using marble, um, one of the many small knife twists that artists have to endure during the death by negotiation process. Laszlo, he doesn't really even fold there. He accepts the marble, but he offers a source from Italy. Um, and then later, when he and Harrison visit the quarry to get the marble, to see the marble, the moment is reverent. It's sacred. It's not just a material. It's history, craft, labor, and meaning. Obviously, if you've seen the movie later, you know that that moment is defiled, which is another metaphor in miniature. So it's not simply concrete versus marble. It's not about one being better. It's about what they symbolize to each person. Harrison wants white marble, glossy, obvious architecture that performs success, something expensive that says everything he wants without requiring thought. Laszlo wants something else, material that carries a memory, concrete that holds the weight of labor, marble that's not just pretty but connected to the people who cut it, and a jacket that looks gray but holds blue. That's really the difference. One man sees surfaces, the other sees what's beneath them. It's really central to the movie, and I love this about it because art, people that who are into art and interpretations and building, versus like a financier who's who could be surface level and just kind of worried about how much money it's going to bring in. Um, it's very interesting. So that's what separates him from not just Harrison, but from an American obsession with flattening everything into something sellable. Um, so the moment with the cube, where Laszlo's talking about the cube, the building, the self, everything has a backstory, and Harrison says, "Answer me something. Why architecture?" Laszlo says, "This is the test," and he says, "No, it's not. Nothing is." Laszlo responds, "Nothing of its own explanation. Is there a better description of a cube than that of its construction?" And this is profoundly deep to me. It's another reason why I like this movie so much. Um, Anyways, it's starting to rain out here where I am, so I'm gonna have to cut this short. Uh, some more interesting things is the use of heroin in this movie. It's not really a flaw or a bad thing. It's actually portrayed as a tool and a survival mechanism in this movie. And Elizabeth is also someone I do not want to mention, even though I'm getting rained on. Um, Her final scene where she confronts Harrison. I think she's like the strongest character in the entire movie in terms of um, her willpower. Um, but I gave this movie a 9.4 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, do see it. It's streamable now. It's on HBO Max. Watch it in different sittings. Treat it like a show. There's an intermission in it. Anyways, let me know what you think.